It's layoff season, and despite me being sick, I'm here updating you with the first week of November layoffs. Now, back in July, I said that layoffs would increase up until the holidays. That's because companies who pay you to work through the holidays are knowingly paying you to not work. So it is a labor burden that most companies want to avoid. So they typically lay off before Thanksgiving and between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't expect to see a ton of layoffs unless a company did not expect the layoff to happen. So I have the first week of layoffs starting from October 1st. We have Brightline, a virtual behavioral health company. They're known for being well funded, laid off 30% of the staff. Jim, a recruiting company, laid off 33% of the staff. Upstart, a personal loan company, laid off 7% of staff. Iron Ox, sustainable farming, laid off 7% of staff. 50% of staff. ChargeBee, a subscription and billing management company, laid off 10%. Chime Banking laid off 12% of staff. They use outsourced recruiting companies. Open Door, a real estate company, laid off 18% of staff. I'm sure no one's super surprised to see that real estate is laying off right now. Studio, an online education company, laid off an unknown amount of staff. SnapDocs, a mortgage closing automation company, laid off 15% of staff. Provi, an alcohol marketplace for bars, laid off an unknown amount of staff. LiveRamp, a data platform, laid off 10% of staff. We have Cloud Kitchens, a real estate company, funny name, unknown amount of staff. Affirm, a buy now pay later company, laid off 1% of staff. Shippo, a logistics company, laid off 20% of staff. Lyft, we all know the transportation company, laid off 13% of staff. Stripe, a transaction finance company, laid off 14% of staff. Mythical Games, a crypto company, laid off 10% of staff. Benitago Group, a fulfillment by Amazon aggregator company, laid off 14% of staff. We have Twitter, a social media company, laid off 50% of staff. Varonis, a data security company, laid off 5% of staff. Domino Data Lab laid off an unknown amount of people. We have Code 42, a cybersecurity company, laid off 15% of staff. Zendesk, a customer service company, laid off for the second time this year, 5% of staff. The last layoff was back in July. We have Salesforce, a sales automation company, laid off 1% of staff. This is their second round of layoffs that happened in October previously. SADA, a cloud company, laid off 11% of staff. Astra Aerospace, 16% of staff. Repertory Immune Medicine, I know I didn't say that right. Healthcare, 50% of staff. Wow. RingCentral, phone automation tool, 10% of staff. Their second layoff previously happened in September. Coursera, an online education company, laid off an unknown amount of staff. Kabam, a mobile gaming company, laid off 7% of staff. Cameo, a video app company, laid off 16% of staff. Root Insurance, auto insurance company, laid off 20% of staff. Avant Stay, a vacation company, laid off 22% of staff. That's their second layoff. The first one was in June. Redfin, a real estate company, laid off 13% of staff. As you heard in the news, I'm sure, Meta laid off 13% of their staff, which was about 11,000 people. Zen Business, a business automation company, laid off an unknown amount of staff. Wavely, an HR job board, laid off 100% of staff, went out of business. Wistia, a video marketing software, laid off 20% of staff. SoundHound, a voice AI company, laid off 10% of staff. And Coinbase, a crypto marketplace, laid off 1% of staff. Unsurprisingly, Juul, the e-cigarette company, now Juul has been banned in certain places. They have their flavored pods being banned in a lot of places, so I'm surprised that Juul made it this far. But they laid off 30% of their staff this week. And that is the layoffs happening for the first week of November. And I gotta say, that number is really similar to entire months previously this summer. I would say July and August probably saw this many layoffs happening in the entire month. So yes, the amount of layoffs are going up. And I do think that's because we're getting close to the timeline of holidays happening. Also, people are finally admitting that a recession is coming. I've been telling you guys, my loyal subscribers, since earlier this summer that we are either in a recession or headed to a recession, and now a lot of people are starting to agree. I do suspect that there are a few people in leadership who still haven't figured it out. The economy is really crashing, and so I would suspect that more layoffs will keep happening, especially for key categories. Throughout the entire summer that I've been doing, I guess we're in fall now, but throughout the entire summer I've been doing these layoff videos, there are some key consistent trends that I have seen the entire time. Real estate companies have been laying off since the summer. I've seen a lot of data platform or data software as a service companies laying off. Lots of healthcare companies laying off, mostly the companies that have to do with telemedicine. It seems like a lot of insurance companies have brought telemedicine internal so that they don't need these third-party applications. I've also seen, obviously, a lot of crypto companies are going out of, or laying off, not going out of business. We're not FTX yet for the whole industry. And I've seen a lot of, I would say, like business automation tools, an example being the Zen business. It's a business automation tool. Overall, these vendors or tools that other businesses will use are the ones that are laying off more than the businesses who pay to use those. For example, Stripe is a payment plugin that a lot of e-com people use. So I don't see too many e-com companies laying off, to be honest. I saw that more in the summer, but it definitely has slowed down. By the way, it says that my viewers like slime, so I'm gonna play with slime on the video. But so Stripe is laying off. I don't see a ton of e-com companies laying off. Maybe that's because that's going to come later or next year. I've seen a lot of cybersecurity companies are laying off. I do think that cybersecurity is still going to be a pretty stable place for people in the industry. Now, obviously, these cyber security companies that are vendors are laying off, but what I think is going to happen is a lot more companies will hire internal cybersecurity teams rather than paying for these vendors. I do see that cybersecurity people, if they're senior, they're hard to find and they get paid really well. But most entry to mid-level cybersecurity people, they're not the highest paid people, which means that it would be more profitable just to bring those people into the staff, into the company, than using these vendors. I have seen a lot of insurance companies laying off. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news, you know home insurance prices have gone up in states like Florida or other states, and it seems like particularly auto insurance. I've seen multiple auto insurance companies laying off. I wonder why that's happening. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Do you have any feedback there? I've also seen a lot of social media companies are laying off, and my personal opinion, I think that we might be coming to the downfall of social media. Facebook is mostly a millennial and boomer website or Gen X website, right? There's not a lot of young people who are actively on Facebook. Typically, they only have Facebook to communicate with older family members or friends. And then looking at TikTok, I mean, TikTok is not an American company, and a lot of people are starting to notice more. But TikTok is obviously the king, right? But Snapchat was the king of social media a few years ago, and look at Snapchat now. They're laying off, and it's just not as popular as a website. People are getting tired of being the product for social media companies, so I would suspect the attitude to change. Also, I've seen a lot of video messaging companies laying off. It seems like people thought there was a bigger marketplace for video messaging plugins or companies in general, but people are just using FaceTime or video through, I don't know, WhatsApp or whatever. In reality, a lot of people have too many applications on their phone, and so they're getting tired of downloading all these applications just to talk to their friends or whoever, and they want to stick to one cohesive method. And I had this exact thought a few years ago when I was working agency in San Francisco. There was a company, and I can't remember the name of it. It had like a red cup logo, and it was a social media website where it was like temporary videos. It was kind of like Snapchat, except for, I have to look up the name of it now. Wow, I can't even like find the name of the company through a quick search. Clearly, they didn't make it, but I remember recruiting for that company thinking, wow, it seems like this is a flooded marketplace, the video social media apps. I wonder how they're gonna make money. Well, clearly, it's kind of hard to search them, so either they're not popular enough to be on the search algorithm, or they maybe went out of business. Who knows? I think it was Hangouts or something. But I do think that the attitude towards social media is changing. I mean, look at Twitter. There's a chance that Twitter might go completely bankrupt by next year. I have a video about Twitter if you want to know why that's happening. But here are the layoffs. Despite my sickness, I'm sure you can see it in my nose, I brought you the latest news. So please be sure to reward me with a subscription, like this video, and comment. Please do subscribe. I will have more interesting videos coming up. People are finally starting to watch my channel, so I appreciate it. And that's probably because I've been right about the things that I've been saying since summer. Layoffs will increase until we get to holidays, and will probably cool down around holidays. It's particularly mean to lay off during the holidays in the tech environment because A, hiring slows down at the end of the year. It just is what it is. But also, a lot of people in the tech industry are working on visa. It seems like at least half of the industry is either on OPT or H-1B visa. Well, these people do have a timeline by which they have to get a job. Now, OPT has more flexibility, but H-1B has to get a new job within 60 days. So if you're getting laid off in early November, you have until early January to get a new job. Well, there's going to be a week out of interviewing for Thanksgiving, likely, and then you take a week off for Christmas. Then, not to mention the people that need to interview with you, the potential managers, they're probably taking vacation time during these times too, so they can go be with family. So it's not the best time to be laid off if you are on a visa. I have a video about H-1B visas if you want to see how I feel about them. I don't think they're exactly humane for the people who are coming to this country to work. So let me know your thoughts on that comment as well, and I hope to see you in the next video.